dropped Omega.
Danielson's got great kicks. Very effective. He's very strong in his lower body.
Yeah, you can see it.
And he's forcing Omega down to the mat. We saw a few weeks ago in Cincinnati when Danielson locked in that label lock, Kenny Omega was tapping instantly. That is the danger of the submission wrestling style that Bryan Danielson possesses.
Oh,
there you go.
There's a receipt for you. That was a hard shot there, to say the very least. Omega trying to walk it off.
A hard shot across the unprotected abdomen of Kenny Omega. Bryan Danielson maybe looking to test the conditioning, to test the breathing of Kenny Omega. Nice side headlock taken by Kenny Omega, but Danielson immediately backing his opponent into the rope, sends him off. Shoulder tackle. Omega, with the weight and size advantage, drops Danielson to the mat.
That's a good point, Excalibur. That weight and size advantage may come into play big time before this is all said and done.
Wow.
Now Omega's showing off a little bit. Hard knife edge chop.
Not only showing off, JR, but trying to show up Danielson.
Danielson was looking for the monkey flip from the mat. Omega, instead of leaping over, cartwheeled out and came in with that running chop that dropped the American Dragon to one knee.
Omega's got very heavy hands. As you can see, the DNA left on the chest of Bryan Danielson.
Got to be very cautious here when you get up close with Kenny. Don't think it's going to be your old
Greco-Roman knuckle lock?
Yes, I was going to say Greco knuckle lock. Don't think it's going to be that. It may end up being something else.
Omega, and there we see, has the leverage. Danielson identifies it, rolls through, maintains control of that left hand of Kenny Omega. And bending the fingers back, which you can see as he has the grip on the elbow, he's putting even more pressure on. And the hand of Omega trapped against the canvas.
Man.
That can break a hand, snap a wrist.
Omega sent into the corner. Danielson once again isolating that left arm of Omega and fires in a massive chop.
Kicks. Hard chops. Hard kicks. Thunderous.
It is literally rocking the head of Omega. All right, he absorbed it. Good job by the champion. He took those good kicks, guys.
Omega's tough as a $2 steak, no doubt about that. He wouldn't be the AEW World Champion if not. But look at Bryan Danielson retaliate. Comes back with strong offense.
Danielson drops down. Omega counters with a kick to the chest. The Banderas and Omega over the top. Omega crashes the floor. Danielson.
Well, keep your eye on Danielson.
With his eyes on his quarry. Comes through. Chopping Suicida.
Omega goes spine first into the security railing. Let's see how that plays out as this match continues.
Thought maybe Danielson hit his right knee very, very hard on the floor there. I'm not sure.
We see the replay, but on the live action shot, we saw Danielson take that shoulder of Omega, ram it into the steel ring post. This is all in service of that label lock. The submission technique taught to Bryan Danielson by Neil Melanson, a student of Judo Gene LaBelle, who in turn was a student of the legendary Lou Thez. This is a generational technique that Bryan Danielson brings to this match.
The knee right to the arm. So Bryan Danielson is a veteran. He's got great awareness. Followed right back up on the arm. Didn't go someplace else. Went right back to that destination.
Let's also consider the fact that for Danielson, his first match in 145 days. But, as we said, he's never looked better. And that says a lot about his conditioning, his efforts in the ring.
Absolutely, Tony. And you know what else? Bryan Danielson is dictating the pace of this match. We've seen it so many times. I mean, we saw it on September 5th that that Kenny Omega was dictating the pace against Christian Cage, and that behooved Kenny Omega. And still to come tonight, we will hear from CM Punk ahead of his match this Friday night on Rampage Grand Slam. And in our main event, the AEW Women's World Championship on the line. Dr. Britt Baker defends against Ruby Soho.
Should be an amazing match for the title. And then, of course, Cody Rhodes, as I said earlier, has a huge score to settle with Malachi Black.
Exactly.
And Antonio, I'm sorry.
MJF and Brian Pillman Jr.
There's bad blood there, man.
Yeah.
Bad blood there.
And FTR against Sting will be in the ring, teaming with Darby Allin.
Man, what a tag match. What a card. What a night.
Yeah.
Glad you're with us, folks.
This is part of a huge 4 hours of professional wrestling here on TNT this week. We'll have a special edition 2-hour Rampage this Friday night starting at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Meanwhile, through all that, Kenny Omega's taking the advantage. You mentioned earlier, Excalibur, about Danielson setting the pace. I think it's kind of turned around now here a little bit.
Certainly has. We took our eye off the ball, so to speak, to work at some promos, and Kenny Omega turned the tables just like that.
The referee's got to get control here. The only way he can do it is use his count. It's a 5 count to a disqualification, so most of the athletes will break on 4 to ensure that that doesn't happen.
And Omega using the leverage of the ropes to put even more downward force on those stomps.
You know, being in the ropes makes it illegal, but the fly of the foot is a legal maneuver. Just get him out of the corner.
Look at Danielson. Look at his chest. You mentioned it earlier, JR, but it's starting to even well up even more now.
Breaking those blood vessels, bruising.
Oh.
You can only imagine what it's going to look like before this match is over, notwithstanding tomorrow.
Look, Danielson knows it's coming. He can't do anything about it. He's just trying to absorb it.
And Omega, look at the smirk on Omega's face. He knows he's in control.
Yeah. See, Danielson's trying to use this to his advantage. He's trying to absorb those chops, help fire him up. And I think it's working here.
Oh.
Wow.
There's that momentum coming back around for Bryan Danielson. Hard Irish whip in.
The kitchen sink turns Danielson inside out, and Omega, the kick to the spine.
Those are well-educated feet. The kick was well placed. It wasn't an indiscriminate kick. It was to the spine, as Excalibur pointed out.
And look at this, Omega continuing to punish the back, the spine of Bryan Danielson. First with the knees, then the kicks.
Look at the face of Omega. A face that's usually confident and cocky and smirking. That stare in his eyes told me a lot. That he knew he was in a fight.
Omega's got to get control again of the momentum. He's in the process of doing that now and slowing down the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson.
Omega keeping the pressure on Danielson. Those strikes, as you mentioned, JR, Kenny Omega among the most heavy-handed professional wrestlers, and they seem to have stopped Danielson, at least momentarily.
And Omega's got big hands too, fellas. And he loves to make that contact, and it proves dominance. And look at that uppercut.
Yeah, that was a mistake. That was a mistake to pull him back and get in his face as you take a look at this capacity crowd here tonight.
Arthur Ashe Stadium.
Boom.
Right here, part of the Billie Jean King Tennis Center.
Thumb to the eye. And I'm sure Miss King would not approve of.
Omega hiking up the green overalls, hoping to rally here. Omega!
Oh, knees up. Well scouted. Great awareness by Danielson.
Now Danielson just trying to pull himself up here.
Omega's put Danielson in a bit of a hole.
And maybe the knees up here has turned things around.
You're right, it could have. Look at that intensity in the face.
And those chops and middle kicks will continue to test the breathing of Kenny Omega. The hammer throw into the ropes, reverse. Danielson comes off the top, swinging a miss by Omega. Nice hammer shot by the American Dragon.
Big time impact. Those wild blue eyes of Bryan Danielson. He came here to win titles. He came here to win main events. And, brother, this is a main event, a dream match main event.
It is a dream match, and we have not been disappointed as of yet. Back and forth they go.
Well, momentum swings again, fellas. The ebb